Hello everyone, welcome back to X-Plane 10. My name is jfavignano, and today we're doing a flight from Opelika, Florida over to RSW, which is Southwest there in Fort Myers in Florida as well. We got to cross the Everglades. We're going to be flying the Caravan Cessna 208B Caravan. Very, very cool model. I'll show you it very, very quickly, some things about it. We have it open just as it should be. We open up the C and you have different field of view you can change. You can change the different cameras here if you'd like and all that. And you can change the volume of everything you hear. We hit D, that's the door options. So if we open the doors, we can open the co-pilot door, the pilot door, the baggage door, like that, and the passenger door and cargo doors like that. Very, very cool stuff. We're going to go ahead and close all that up since we're going to be leaving very soon. And then under O is the options menu. We can turn the cargo pod on or off. I'll show you right here. You can have the off right there. Very cool look. I love that look of the Caravan without the cargo pod, but we're going to have the cargo pod today. Static elements, we can turn those off now. Well, nope, doesn't want to turn them off, I guess. VC windows, we want those. It gives you the nice green tint. But the static elements, I don't know why I've been having an issue with that, not turning on and off whenever I tell it to, so it's okay. Maybe it needs to have the parking brake set and all that. But regardless of all of that, we're going to be flying this baby over to Fort Myers, and let's hop up into the cockpit and I'll show you around. Okay, welcome aboard the Cessna Grand Caravan. Very, very, very classic look here. We got the 6-pack here and all the switches over here. We've got, you know, the throttle quadrant in the middle. We've got a weather radar. We got a GPS. We've got everything we need to have to get from point A to point B, essentially. Let's double check and make sure our parking brake is set. We can click right here and turn off our yoke, and the parking brake's right here. So we're gonna pull that baby out just like that. You see how that thing pops up right there like those? That's for click spots. This airplane has scroll wheel support, which I really, really, really like. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Especially when I'm using this, I do like it a lot. So we're going to put the yoke back on there and everything's good. All switches are off and all that stuff. Let's actually open up our first checklist of the day, which is before starting engine checklist. Pre-flight inspection and weight and balance. Let's go ahead and do that now. I'll show you how I do it. I open up the weight and fuel here. You can see we have an empty weight of 4,600. So everything looks in the green. I'm going to leave it as it is default right now. I like having a little bit of fuel in here. It's got 3.8 hours of fuel in there. We're not going to be flying 3.8 hours, but that's okay. So that we'll call that complete. Doors are unlocked at this time. Passenger briefing is complete. We're not going to give a passenger briefing to invisible people on here. I'm sorry. Cabin doors are latched. Crew doors are unlocked. Parking brake is set. We just did that. Seats, belts, harnesses, adjusted, secured. Switches are all off. That's what we want. Ignition is normal. Yep, ignition is on normal. There it is. Circuit breakers, we all checked those. They're all in. They're not modeled, so it doesn't matter. Fuel tank selectors, let's make sure they're both on, and they are. Here they are, 1 and 2. Looks wonderful. They are both on. Radar is off. Air conditioner, let's make sure those things are all off. They are off. Wonderful. Inverter, that guy over here is, inverter is off right now. It does that auto thing. I'm not really sure where the actual inverter switch is on this airplane, but it has a generator here. I don't think they modeled the actual inverter because I haven't been able to find it, and I've been looking. Bleed air is off. Wonderful. Cabin heat mixing, flight push in. They're all in. They're all good to go. Let's see what else we got here. Emergency power lever. We've got that on normal right there. Power lever idle. Yes, it is. Propeller fully forward. Let's go ahead and move that baby all the way forward. Fuel cutoff. Fuel condition lever is pushed all the way in there. It looks. Oh, sorry. The condition lever is on idle cutoff there. It should be. And I had to pull it down in there. Propellers fully. Yeah, we already did that. Rudder lock. Don't worry about that. Fuel shut off is pushed in. Battery switch. Let's go ahead and flip that baby on. We'll hear the gyros fire up. Oh yeah, there they are. Wing flaps are up. NSFSB is required. Fire detector test. Let's do it now. There's the engine fire light. It works. Annunciator panel. All works. Before starting, engine checklist is complete. The one thing I don't like about the documentation that comes with this is I don't like the checklist. I don't like the way it looks. Like it's really gray and it's hard to read. But number two, it has a lot of things in here that's not even modeled in the airplane, so that's kind of redundant. But anywho, let's continue along, shall we? Engine start. Battery is on. Volt ammeter. Let's look at that, baby. Let's fly it over here to volts. Should be showing 24 volts, and we are. Emergency power lever is on normal. Prop area. We'll make sure that's clear. I see nobody around, so it's clear. Fuel boost. Let's flip that baby on. There it is. We have the light. Auxiliary fuel pump. That's again, that stuff is not modeled. Fuel flow is checked to none. There it is at 0. Starter switch. We'll go to start, and ignition on is what the checklist is calling to do in that order. Not sure how realistic that is. I wish I could see the ITT move a little bit there, but we're going to listen to that, and then we're going to throw it up here. Not that guy. We're going to throw him into low idle. Make sure our power lever is back where it was. I don't know why it moved. So it's firing up. We should see this baby ignite. There it goes. Like I said, you know, the engine start procedure, not very realistic for a Caravan that I can see, because we would be looking for about, you know, 80 to 110 pounds per hour of fuel flow, which is there right now. That looks good. But we would have been looking for, you know, ITT of 1,090, which you can barely see there, and it just kind of just stuck there. It didn't do anything else. But no biggie. Starter switch. Let's turn that baby off. There we go. And the lights are out there. Auxiliary fuel pump is on. Yes, it is. Okay, inverter. It automatically does the inverter. Yep, it's all good to go. I think they're talking about the fuel boost. Yep, they are. So they didn't want that thing on. We'll turn that to normal. Standby power is on. You know, what else we got here? We got avionics 1 and 2 on. There we go. Avionics are coming alive here. We can turn our weather radar on to test right now. Heating, ventilation, defrost is required. Suction gauge, we want to check that guy. He's in the green right over here. Yep, there it is. Heating, ventilation, defrost. Yeah, we already got that. And radios, we'll set those up here in just a few moments. All right, we got it all fired up here. One thing I can't get rid of on this airplane is the ignition on light. This will never extinguish no matter what I do. If you look on the ignition, I have it set to normal already. That's on and that's normal. As well as all this stuff is all taken care of, but that sucker is still on. I can't figure out how to get rid of it. So if you know how to do that, be sure to leave a comment below and advise me on that. Let's open up our e-bag, a wonderful donation wear product that I will put a link for in the description below. It's free, but you know, we encourage people to send a donation if you can, so the developer can continue to do stuff. But it's a very cool thing. You can open any PDF file and stuff in here. Anywho, let's get acquainted here. We're here on HS, right near HS1 right here off of Echo, and we're going to be taxiing down runway 30. What we're looking for right now is the ATIS on 125.9er. So let's look at the radio. 125.9 is what we want. All right, 125. There we go. And we'll hit the button. Bam.
OPA lock-in information November.
November. Sky conditions are 4,900 broken.
Visibility 10.
Yeah, the guy talks real slow.
2.17. Wind 140 at 6.
140 at 6. They changed.
3004. Arriving and departing runways 09 left. 27 right. 123009 right.
Okay.
27 left.
We'll probably go down to 12.
On initial contact, you have November.
It's November, so it's going to be altimeter of 3004. Wonderful. We'll go ahead and flip that baby over. So 3004. Let's make sure we have that set here. 3004. It's going to be about right there. Looks good to me. Wonderful. Let's set this panel up here. We're going to climb and maintain 5,000 initially, and we'll do a vertical speed here of 700 feet or so. I think it's going to be good. No, let's do 600. Yeah, so we can keep a faster speed on the way up. Vertical speed, we can engage that guy, so he's ready to go and armed. Heading mode and all that stuff, we're going to flip that over to 120 since we're going to take off on runway 120. So we'll have heading selected for that if we need it. We don't even need this autopilot yet, but you know, for whenever we do our initial departure out of here. So all is well. We're just going to we're going to taxi straight ahead, and then we're going to make a right on Tango and take Tango down to 1-2 for our departure today. And in the radios, we need to go to direct to Winco, actually. So let's go to this guy, and let's start dialing in Winco. So W, and then we'll go to I. We'll go to C, or N. There we go. And then C. And then Winco. Oh, there it is right there. Hit enter, activate. So now distance to track is going to be 316, 48.4 miles to that. We're in VLOC mode right now. We can flip that over to GPS and it will tell us. So 316 for that. Let's flip this baby over to 316. Ooh, a little bit more to the right. 316. It's going to be, nope. 310. We'll stay about right in here. Well, we'll find out once we get in the air. Anywho, that's all good to go. Excellent. Let's continue with our checklist. We need to do the taxi checklist next, which is not going to be much. It's going to be brakes and flight instruments checked. So we've already done that. I think we're pretty much ready to go. Let's go ahead and flip a taxi light on there in the middle. Release the brakes. And we're going to test, since it's the first flight of the day, we're going to test the reversers. There's reverse thrust. And it's good. Wonderful. We have brakes. Yes, we do. Woo. That felt good, didn't it? That felt good. All right, so we're going to go direct to Winco. But like I said, we're just going to taxi up here, make a right on Tango, take that down to 1-2. Okay, we're making it right on Tango. Let's double check our trim here. Make sure that guy's set. It's gonna make a noise for us. We know that. Let's move him all the way up here to take off. I don't like it so far back though, so I'm gonna go right where T and O meet, right there. Just out of preference. And here we are on Tango now. We don't need any instrument lights yet, but maybe we could set them up a little bit. I'm gonna show them those to you, so we can just roll them up a little bit here. Whoop, there they are. Make them nice and easy here. Doesn't need to be too crazy, nothing too crazy, but you know, enough so we can see everything. So we'll taxi down to runway 1-2. Okay, we certainly don't need all of the runway today, so we're just going to do an intersection departure right here. So we're going to pull up here and do our run up really fast. Since this is the first flight of the day, we want to make sure everything is in working order, which we'll hold the brakes right here at the line. This will do wonderful right here. There we go. And we'll pull our parking brake. Ooh, hopefully we can. There we go. Parking brake is set. And let's do the run up. So parking brake is set. Seatbelts, harnesses, checked and secured. Flight controls. Let's just, well, they're going to be free and correct. I already tested them. Yep. Free and correct. All good to go. Flight instruments are checked and set. Fuel boost is on normal. Yes, it is. Fuel tanks, we'll check those back on both, and they are good to go. Let's go. Fuel tanks are good to go. Fuel quantity, we already checked all that. That's right here, just above 500 pounds there on each side, pretty much. And we already did our trim. That's set for takeoff. Power check. Let's go 400. Foot-pound. About right there. Wonderful. We'll check for suction. We got that in the green. Volt amps. Return that back to battery now. There it is on battery, although it shows the battery pretty much dead. I don't know what that's all about. Inertial separator. We'll check it and see if there's a torque drop return. Here's our inertial separator right here. Let's see if it's going to drop. There's a drop. Albeit very, very slight. We do have a drop whenever we use it. Engine instruments are checked. Overspeed governor, not worried about it. Power reliever, we'll put that back to idle. Quadrant friction adjusted. Standby power, we'll just flip that. Well, actually, yeah, we're not worried about that. We're gonna leave emergency power where it's at. Standby power is checked. Autopilot Pre-flight, we've already done. Checked. Avionics power 1 is all. That's all good to go. Gyros are good. Pre-flight test. Let's do the annunciator one more time. Double check it. Looks good. Trim warnings off. Electric trim. We have trim. We can see the light, little light turn on when we use it. There we go. So it disconnected the autopilot. That's what we wanted. So we put Alt and heading back in, and it's pretty much ready to go. Let's turn the flight director on. And we got that. Yaw dampers are engaged. Flight controls. We moved over a power the AP. We already did that. Disconnected. Trim, all that good stuff. Ice protection is required. We're just gonna go, we won't worry about pitot right now. It was pretty good. Strobe lights, let's flip those babies on. Right there. Annunciators are good. Extinguished, except for the ignition. Can't get rid of it. Don't know why. Cabin heat mixing is good. Windows are closed. Brakes released. Fuel condition lever is gonna go to high idle. So I'm gonna turn on the bleed, and we're gonna be pretty much good to go. So we're gonna do flaps 10 degrees. Don't need 20. They call for 20, but that's just overkill for this airplane. So that's all good to go there. And air conditioning, we'll turn that baby on. And we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and release the brakes. Turn our landing lights on as well. And let's line up on the runway. All right, lining up on the runway right now. Double check everything. Takeoff trim is set. Flaps are set at 10. We're good to go. We're ready to go flying. Let's go ahead and add that power. Remember, you got to do it really nice and slow on this airplane in the beginning. Just keep that forward directional control there, which it's right there. Add takeoff power. Takeoff power set. And 60 knots. 70. V1, rotate. On up we go. Get that trim where we want it. We're about 700 feet per minute on our climb. There's Miami coming right off of our nose there on the left. That's Miami and all that good stuff. Pretty cool off to our right. Miami Beach off to our nose. Cool stuff. Looks amazing. This scenery is really, really cool. Still climbing out here. There's 500 feet. And let's go ahead and turn on course now to 316. So we'll go ahead and make a right turn. Ever so slight. Push that nose down a little bit. We want to shoot for about 104 knots on our climb out. A nice, easy turn here. You see the traffic down there on the ground. All the cars and stuff. Too cool. Frame rate might be a little choppy from the downtown or the major international airport over there, usually. That's usually what does it. Come back all the way around. Look at that lake there. So we're going to be on the west side of Opelika here. There's Opelika right there. I've actually been on that road right there that goes right next to that. There we go. So still climbing out. Let's bring that nose down a little bit. Still maintain about 104 knots. I'm pretty happy with that. And a good climb rate. Just a little bit more to the right. Excellent. And if we move this little guy over, we can see a nice image of where we're going. So continue our right turn and we'll start our intercept very soon. I'm still hand flying the airplane. No need to use the autopilot yet. And actually my buddy said that, you know, a lot of their issues with their servos going out on their autopilots is due to pilots flying with the autopilot immediately. So we want to make the autopilot's life a little easier. So we're going to fly it a little bit better. So there we go. So we could just simply fly on this course right here until we intercept that Or we can flip it over to GPS mode and it will go ahead and track right onto it, which we are pretty much going to do. Let's get a little bit more of an intercept. I like hand flying the airplane, so we're going to continue to do that. Brought our flaps up there. Let's go ahead and get our climb speed back where it needs to be. There we go. 360 will work for us today. Get back up on that 700 feet per minute. I should have brought those flaps up around 1,000 feet, but 2,500 will have to do today. It's easy to forget something dumb like that. So there's the needle moving over, so we can fly back onto it. So you kind of fly it like a VOR, I suppose you could say. We'll get set up for our autopilot here. Let's get this guy over to, wow, 10 feet you're set at. That's always good. Still looking good. Bring that nose down a little bit. Intercept. Let's bring this up to about, we're gonna go to 10,000 feet today. 8 and 9, 10,000 feet right there. Oh, almost there. This little switch is kind of weird. There's 10,000 right there. So we have that. Vertical speed is set, engaged. Autopilot is engaged. And we're over on GPS. We'll flip it to nav mode, not heading mode. There we go. Nav mode, so it'll pick up that GPS. There we go. Wonderful. Still climbing out at about 600 feet per minute. At a good rate here. ITT is at 740. And everything's in the green. So far, so good. Probably increase our climb rate a little bit to probably like 700 or something, just because, you know, we have the airspeed to do it. Our normal climb out's gonna be about 104 knots. Okay, still climbing out of Opelika here in the Miami airspace. We're just at about 104 knots, looking good, 700 feet per minute. Climb is on schedule up to 10,000 feet, looking good. Again, just can't get rid of that ignition light. Can't figure out that. I think it's a bug on the airplane. It's gotta be. Let's turn our yoke back on. It looks kind of weird without one. All right, getting closer to 6,000 feet on our climb out right now. Let's double check our numbers here. En route climb, ice protection. Let's see here. Let's turn our pitot heat. We're gonna be hitting some clouds, it looks like. Airspeed 110 to 120, looks good. Our prop is 1,600 and 1,900 RPM, and it's right there at 1,900 for this climb. Torque is within limits. ITT is about 750 or so there, right? Looking good. 740 for normal operations right now, so we can even pull back a little bit. Torque's at about 1,500, well and within limits, so we'll pull back just a hair. There's 740, looking good, and we're on our way up to 10,000 feet. One to go to 10,000 feet. We can flip off our taxi light. Don't need that thing on. Those are the recog lights on the outer edge. They're in the same spot as the landing lights, but we keep our landing lights on up until 10,000 feet. That is normal procedure. So, like I said, we've only got 900 feet to climb, and we'll be at cruise. All right, we made it to 10,000 feet. Let's set this baby up for cruise. Ice protection is required. Pitot static heat is on. Propeller, we're going to bring him back to just between 1,600 and 1,900. We'll be happy with the 1,800 or so right there. Wonderful. Power is set per cruise power table. We're going to keep everything in the green pretty much and keep an eye on the ITT, which is at 740. We'll pull back just a hair to hit 740 and make it pretty realistic there with a normal operation, and that'll do it. So now we're en route to Fort Myers. We're almost here to the intersection. If we zoom in, you can see we're getting much closer to it. And 15 miles out now. So once we get to Winco, we'll go direct to RSW. Okay, 2 miles out from Winco now. Let's go ahead and move our heading selector over here to where we are, and let's go to heading select. So we'll fly that heading, and now we can get set up for the VLOC here. And we want to go direct to there. Let's flip this baby around. Yep, the other way will work. And looks like it's going to be direct this way to the VOR, right there. A little bit more left. Yep, that'll work. Let's turn our heading that way. And once we get intercepted and lined up nice, we'll go ahead and flip over and be inbound to the Fort Myers VOR. So there we go right there. VLOC is happy. Let's switch it over to nav. Nav is selected, and now the airplane is flying direct to that VOR. And right now we're picking up the DME from that 43.2 now, 43 miles out from that Lee County VOR, which is going to be right next to the airport. So 40 miles out or so from the airport. Not too much longer. All right, flying along here, the weather changed on us. Actually, I'm not really sure 100% what it's going to be at Fort Myers. Let's see if we can pick it up. ATIS is going to be 12465. So let's see if we can do something with that. 12465. 12465. Let's do that. 12465. Let's go ahead and dial in 65 first. There we go. And then 124. Oh, 124. Nope. Got to find the hot spot right there. 124. And boom. Okay, November 2000 Zulu weather. Sky conditions are 4,300 few, 6,300 scattered, 8,300 broken, visibility more than 10. So it is down there a little bit. Temperature 170.13. Wind's going to be 090 at 5, so we'll expect runway 6. Altimeter 3003. And looks good. So we have November. Let's go 3003, about right there. Looks good. All set. So hopefully, 6,000 feet is where the broken is. So I think this overcast probably going to break up a little bit on us on our descent in to the airport. 35 miles, still a little bit to go. One thing we can do is we can flip RSW here in direct now. So let's go do that really fast. It's going to be K, R, then S. Yeah, there you are. And then W. And wonderful. Southwest Florida International is what we want. Activate U. And now we can look on our map, and we have a little bit more situational awareness of where we're at. So as you can see right there, there's the VOR. It's pretty much right on top of the airport. So we're going to continue to fly the VOR just because, it's fun to do that. And then we'll begin our descent phase into the airport. Hopefully the weather will clear up by the time we get there, but it's getting to that time of day to where it won't. You get all these clouds rolling in from the west off of the bay, and it makes flying a little more interesting. So with that said, we'll just continue on in 32 miles. All right, we're about 30 miles out. Let's go ahead and start our descent down. Let's select altitude, and we want to descend and maintain 3,000. So we'll go to 543. Let's try to fine tune it. Whoop. Sometimes it takes, there's 3,000 right there. And we'll do a, descent rate of negative, we'll do like we were doing before. Let's do 600. I'm happy with that. Engage the vertical speed mode, and down we go. We're gonna keep the power set as it is right now. Keep an eye on the speed, but if we're gonna get a little more speed on our way in, there's nothing wrong with that. I like that. We'll pull the power back just a hair. Just about going to whiteout conditions now. As you can see, we're slowly fading into the clouds and that whole cloud deck right there. They called it around 6,000 feet, but we're hitting this thing at about 7,500. On our way down to 3,000, we're 17.5 miles from that VOR, which is right by the airport, so 20 miles out to the airport. And once we get a little bit closer, we'll start getting set up for the runway 6 approach. But right now we're just going to be trying to break out through the clouds and get down to 3,000 feet. Watching speed, we'll pull it back a little bit more. But liking the speed we're getting on our descent. Starting to break out through the clouds here. Just barely. You can see just a little bit down here on the left. You see the trees and everything down there? There we go. So we're starting to, you know, break through down to probably where they said around 6,000 feet or so. We're getting closer to about 8 miles out or so, so we're going to move over to heading mode, and we're going to get parallel here to 240, get set up for runway 6 approach. So let's go to heading mode, select. There's the runway right off. That's the airport right off our nose there. Got the runway in sight and the airport in sight. Still going to continue down to 3,000 feet, and we may end up shooting an ILS for runway 6. Haven't decided yet, but we're going to get ourselves nice and, you know, in position where we need to. Oh no, we just broke out through the clouds, so we're actually pretty good right now. Not bad at all. We'll continue down to 3,000 feet, but now we are paralleling runway 6. So we're on a good right downwind for the runway now. So looking very good. Very happy with that. All right, coming up on 3,000 feet right there. Let's go ahead and start slowing this baby down a little bit. Don't need to be getting too fast. There we go. Very nice. You can see the airport off to our right over there. And we're going to do a visual approach into runway 6, so looking good. So we can go ahead and descend down to 1,500 now. Actually, we can go ahead and disengage the autopilot. Don't need him anymore. I've got the airplane. I like hand flying airplanes more so than, you know, them flying us. So there we go. It's doing some VFR flying. Love it. It's a co-pilot side, but I'll go over there to the right. So we're gonna fly over that that field over there to the right, and then curve in pretty much. That's my initial idea. We're gonna descend and maintain 1,500 at this time. Keeping it on speed. All right, cool. So let's get set up for landing here. We're gonna go prop fully forward. Very nice. And we'll look at our landing checklist here in just a few moments. Before landing, seatbelts, harnesses are secure. Fuel selectors, we want to make sure they're all good to go. Yep, both are on. Still watching our descent right here. Looking very nice. You see the ocean right off our nose now. Prop control max forward. Radar is, we can turn that thing off. We don't need him anymore. Yep, off. Autopilot off, wing flaps. We'll go ahead and go to the first setting now. There we go. There's the little balloon we're gonna get. First setting's at 175, next setting will be 150, and so on and so forth, but we don't have to worry about it too much. So we're gonna curve in a little bit more here. Looking good. Turn our taxi light on as well for recogs. And descend and maintain 1,500. Let's square up our approach. See the airport right there off our nose. Very nice. This will do nice right here. Kind of follow this highway in is what we're going to do, if that makes sense. I keep hitting that wrong button. But yeah, we're going to follow the highway in. And once we get to 1,500 feet. You know, next setting the flap. There we go. Help slow this baby down. Get her where we want her. All right, still looking very good. Here's the airport right off our nose on the right. And coming up on 1,500 feet. Just using that electric trim to keep us where we want us. Let's bring that nose up a little bit more. There we go. Add some power. And we went about 1,100 on the torque. Set. Got a little brighter out now. Let's go ahead and pull our power back. Looking good. Very nice. Start bringing this nose down a little bit more. And last setting the flaps, please. There we go. Let the airplane come on down. It's 800 feet. We're gonna be a tad high on this approach, but that's okay. Let's pull our power back a little bit. And we'll make it easy. There's the highway right there. That's our runway. It's a big runway. We got plenty of time to get down. All right, cool. Let's pull our power out completely right now. Don't even need it out. Very good. Letting flight attendants and all of them know that they need to be seated for landing. I think they know that. We got the VASI lights white on white, but we're turning on the runway now. Wonderful. Right on the glide slope. Bring that nose up. Add that power back in. Don't want to get too slow up on the approach. Very nice. Use the electric trim where we need it. Stay on the glide slope. A little more power. Around 1,000 feet or so. 1,000, yeah, feet. Foot-pound right there. Set. Very nice, stable approach. A little high. We'll just bring that nose down. Just pitch for airspeed and power for altitude. So we'll pull our power for that. Altitude to come back down. It is a Cessna. It flies like a Cessna. Yeah, a little more power. There we go. Looking good. Winds are pretty favorable, actually. Not too bad at all. Remember, there's 090. So right off of our right. Short final. Bring the speed back a little bit. Shoot for 75 knots. 75 and 80 there. This thing loves to float, so we'll just gradually pull the power out here. Pull the power, pull the power, pull the power. There we go. Start the flare. One more flare. Pull the power completely. And we're down. Beautiful. Greasa. There we go. There's that reverse thrust. And it does throw the airplane around a little bit when you go into beta mode, which is wonderful. Gets us slowed down immediately. Probably didn't even need reverse thrust on that landing, to be honest. Let's throw our conditioning lever idle into low idle. There we go. And we can taxi in now. We'll taxi over here to the FBO on the left. Right at Alpha 4. Let's taxi into the FBO ramp here. It's right here off our side, right in front of us, actually. Wonderful. This little yellow building right here. So we can go ahead and flip our lane lights off. And we can keep our taxi on right now. But yeah, nice little hop over the Everglades. Hope you enjoyed the flight. I know I did. It was interesting. I thought the minimums might have dropped, or I mean, not the minimums, but the I thought the cloud deck might have dropped a little bit. So we're gonna have to shoot an ILS approach, but once we broke through the clouds, everything was fine. We could see everything wonderfully. Throw it down into beta as we taxi in here to Private Star Aviation. And we'll park it pretty much out front in front of these guys. Okay, we have parked. Let's go ahead and kill this baby. Just like that. And we can shut everything off that we don't need. Lights can come off. Like that. Fuel boost. Normal. Starter is all off. Ignition's off. Everybody's happy. Avionics off. Battery off. And it will wind down. Yeah, if you guys know how to fix that ignition light, I'd love to know. Leave a comment below. Other than that, that's going to do for the flight. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's good to be back in X-Plane. Next time, I think we're going to be flying the MD-80, and we'll probably be flying that from... I'll probably fly that out of here up to Atlanta or something. So that is going to be the next video with the Rotate MD-80. I've been waiting. The reason why I haven't put a video out on that is because I've been waiting for a patch to come out because, you know, there's some issues with the airplane. I haven't seen the patch yet, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and make the video anyway and then give you my opinion on it. But with that said, I'll see you guys on a future flight. Take care.